broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yeah, it's not quite the song, but it's close to it. This is like the Fisher-Price version of the song. But either way, we're down with it.
I was hoping for a little primetime players, but you know me.
That would have been solid. I'm always working for primetime players. But a little bit of retaliation never hurt nobody. Welcome, everyone, to the Monday Night Raw After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. Thank you if you're not watching the Stone Cold Paul Heyman podcast, or if you're too cheap to afford $9.99 a month to get the network. We're happy to have you here for free.
Every month for the first month.
Is it alright if I watch it while
Yes, you can watch it on your phone.
Okay.
We'll do the show.
Multitasking.
Don't even worry about it. That's it.
I'll just check in.
That's
from time
a
to
deep
time.
V-neck you have on.
Thank you, sir.
Wait till we intro you, and then we'll talk all about
Do
it.
you know what V-necks are?
That's a V. Is it not
It's
a V-neck?
not really. What would you call this?
It's just a button.
Can I get a show on AfterBuzz about V-necks and what
You
they
guys
are and are
basically
not?
have the same shirt on, except yours is a hood.
Well, you don't mess with the hood.
Don't mess with the hood.
It's good to be back. All right, everybody. Let's get started here. We have a lot to talk about, and now that my hood's all messed up, you can find me on Twitter.
Hood life.
Hood life.
Wow.
You can find me on Twitter at Jay Quasto, the lovely lady sitting next to me who keeps slowly pushing me off the view of the camera, as she tends to do. And there's already one guy in chat roll who's mad because I'm back. Well, suck it, Haywood.
No, so many people were happy that you were back.
I know, there's one guy who was trolling me today on Twitter. He's like, I don't want you back. I'm like, well, suck it, dude. I don't care. All right?
Well,
you're going to troll me? Shut up.
DX quotes.
Anyways, this woman, you love her. We all love her. Find her on Twitter at Cathy Kelley. She's Cathy Kelley, everybody.
Hello. I'm glad that you're back because
Thank you. Thank you.
Get terrified every time I have to
No, you're
host by
amazing.
myself.
You're amazing, but it is good to be back. It feels good to be back. We're a family.
Of course.
A slightly dysfunctional family.
Did you come
Very
back with some
dysfunctional.
Portuguese?
I know a couple of words.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Obrigado is thank you.
There you go. There you go.
And
All right. Well,
One
we're going to be
word.
testing on your capoeira
This is when I
skills
tune
as well.
back into
hola, hello. All right, let's get to our guest. Well, actually, this man is here just about every week now. You can find him on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood every single Saturday evening. He is all about that positive mental attitude. Find him on Twitter at Ty Matthews PMA. He's Ty Matthews.
Yeah. What's happening? Always fantastic to be here. Johnny, missed you while you were gone.
Oh, thank you.
You
Man.
know,
It's good
a
to be
fun
back.
fact about me and this guy, this is our first time meeting. We've been here for 2 hours together, and I was like, I'm not going to talk to him, and I'm going to meet him for the first time ever.
You really shunned him. You shunned him real good.
You know, we looked at each other, we
word.
gave each other this look, and we knew what that was all
You
about.
get the nod, the wink and the nod, like, let's do this.
Let's do this.
We're going to call
we'll
it
do
out
it
there,
on the
brother.
air.
We'll call it out there, brother.
We'll call it in the ring.
Call it in the studio. That man, it's his first time on the show. He's a very, very good friend of mine. This Monday, June 8th, a week from tonight, at IO West in Hollywood, he is going to be starring in the hopefully Chris Pratt and Shane Hartline show.
Yep.
You can find him on Twitter at Shane Hartline. He is the deeply V-necked Shane
It's
Hartline.
not a V-neck.
It's not a V-neck.
Just go with
Do
it.
I not get a clap?
Just go with it.
Thank you, man.
Oh, sorry.
Guys,
Come on.
wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm here.
Can't have guests, guys.
I'm ready to do this.
So tell us about the Shane Hartline and Chris Pratt show.
Well, man, I put everything into the show, and you know the show is happening. It's official, and I just hope that he shows up. So I'm having people tweet him. If you're watching this and you know his Twitter, just tweet him. Pratt. It's super simple.
You guys could do twin magic at the show.
There's things planned, but I don't want to give anything away. So
He's
if he
gotta
shows
show
up,
up.
I've got a lot of things planned with
Yeah.
him.
Tweet at Chris Pratt right now and say, hey, show up at the IO West next Monday night
June 8th, 8 p.m.
to hang out with his twin
Super
Shane
simple.
Hartline. Perfect.
And I put everything into the show, and I hope he shows up. That's it.
Let's do it. All right, Monday Night Raw out of San Antonio, Texas. Right from the start, the Authority hits the ring. Seth Rollins looking PO'd. That's because he was naked
pissed.
without that title. Not happy about it. Stephanie calls Dean Ambrose a thief and a thug and all those adjectives you could ever imagine. Triple H agrees and says they're waiting for Ambrose to hit the ring. He demands Ambrose to hit the ring now, but instead we get Roman Reigns And Roman Reigns demands a rematch for Dean Ambrose, Cathy Kelley at Money in the Bank.
Yeah. The pay-per-view that is 2 weeks away.
2 weeks away,
Weeks,
guys.
man.
God, it's a lot.
They're killing these guys.
Yeah.
They really, especially
They're
Roman Reigns, he
killing
wrestled
them.
17 times.
Yeah. What did you say? You counted exactly how many
Do you know
minutes
the
he was in
official
the
number?
ring
The
tonight?
official time is 30 minutes and 5 seconds for the big dog tonight.
That's pretty good.
All together. Yeah.
Good, kudos to him.
Solid stuff, man. Turning in some really, really good work.
Really, really is.
Yeah.
And
Going to bat for his buddy.
Exactly. Roman Reigns says Dean Ambrose wants a ladder match for the title. Steph calls Ambrose a lowlife and says, that lowlife won the title last night. Actually, that's what Roman said. And Roman said he may be the worst WWE champion ever, speaking about Seth Rollins, of course. So that's when Rollins flips out. I dug this.
Mm-hmm.
He was pissed.
Yeah, overall thoughts on that, Shane, because I know you like it when dudes get real.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that tonight. There's a lot of just genuine, I feel, passion that we may usually don't get from the promos in the WWE, and that was one of them, definitely. And I just wish, I don't know, they'd pull the scripts back a little bit, give them the beats, and let them just kind of go. I would curse. I don't know if I can curse, but they'll just let them go a little crazy with the what
I don't
they
know
wanna
what curse
say.
word you were going to go with, but
Ape S.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. Let them go Ape S.
A little AS.
Yeah, let them go AS with
Ape
it.
Sonic?
Ape Sonic.
The shakes.
Ape shakes.
Ape shape.
Product placement.
Come on.
Well, we had some of that, though, with Cena and Owens, which
Oh, God, yeah.
we will get to in a little bit.
Yes.
But anyways, Seth Rollins does flip out, calls Kane a 7-foot piece of crap. Which, perfect.
Sure.
And then he's going to prove at Money in the Bank who the real champion is. He completely he's going crazy. Steph flips out at Seth. Triple H calms her down, gets in his face. I'm sorry, talking about Roman Reigns, because Seth just storms out. And Triple H says, you know what? You're in the Money in the Bank ladder match, but maybe you don't have to be. So if you lose your match tonight, you're out of the Money in the Bank ladder match. But don't go anywhere, because your opponent's coming up next. That was my Triple H / movie trailer
pretty
voice.
good.
No, it wasn't.
Can I hear it one more time?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no one
right.
really wants to hear it more than
We'll
once.
probably hear your Bray Wyatt later on, won't we?
He didn't speak tonight.
Nope.
What am I supposed to do?
Right? I never know what you got up your sleeve.
Just follow
Up
the
your
buttons.
hooded sleeves.
Of my hooded non-V-neck sleeves.
Yeah.
Anyways, first match of the night, Roman Reigns. We're so close, I shoulder blocked you, and I apologize when I just turned.
Seriously?
I don't mean to. I'm sorry. These arms are huge.
Can you guys keep it calm it down over there?
Sorry.
You're going to get checked into the glass over there.
First match
gonna get
of the
slapped.
night, Roman Reigns taking on King Barrett, and this was fun to watch. Barrett takes control in the beginning, then Roman sends him outside twice, but then Barrett attacking the rib cage, hits a winds of change, kick out, ends of course with a spear out of nowhere, and Roman Reigns takes the win. Now Ty, you've been a wrestler for 15 years.
Yep.
I go to you for wrestling analysis.
Of course.
Go for it.
Well, I mean, they set up a lot of stories that they paid off later on.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I expected when they were announcing Reigns' opponent, I expected a Big Show return. I expected Reigns versus Show, Chapter 14. But definitely unexpected with King Barrett coming out. Didn't know exactly what they were setting up. Of course, didn't know Reigns was about to embark on a half-hour journey over the course of the night.
Yeah.
But they, like I said, they set up a lot of stories. They set up the ribs. They set up the eyes with a very, very deliberate eye gouge, which is great storytelling.
Yes.
And yeah, it looked solid.
And actually, I saw an interesting fact. Someone sent me something on Twitter. Barrett's record, taking away the King of the Ring, this year on television is like 13-25 or
The
something.
guy can't
It's
catch a
like-
break.
Yeah.
He wins all of the cursed titles. He wins the Intercontinental title. He wins the King of the Ring. As soon as you win those, it's all just a formality. You just lose everything at that point.
I guess it
Breaks my heart.
This King of the Ring hasn't really done much for him.
No. He gets a crown and a scepter, and JBL gets to call the Royal Bullhammer Mogul.
And he has some
That's-
tights that look more like briefs.
They do
than
look like
any
briefs, yeah.
pair of tights I've ever seen.
They're very Hainsy.
Yeah. It's that logo around the rim.
That's what it is,
That's
yeah.
exactly what it is.
I mean, when you have most briefs do say something around the rim.
Right.
The rim.
Right.
The rim.
You
said.
put your name on yours.
Of course, I don't want to be taking them.
No.
I mean, it says Quasto on my undies.
Yep.
Fun dad.
Fun dad. Oh yeah. Do you want to give everyone my fun dad moment tonight? My 2 moments.
His home screen is Yahoo.
Why not?
And also, he didn't know how to use the Twitter quote button.
It's in my defense, my Twitter was not updated, so therefore it wasn't an option.
There was another one that happened too. I started Snapchatting, and he thought I was operating an alien weapon. He's like, "What are you doing?
Classic Costa.
What are you doing?"
Hey, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Cell phones come from aliens. Everyone knows that.
Yes.
So yeah, Steve Jobs, alien. You think he's not dead? He's on another planet.
This is getting real weird.
I'm cool with that. We can start going down that avenue today.
Yeah, we can't go down that avenue. Jesse Ventura, get in here! No. All right.
I've got something to say.
Mine fell the hardest. All right. Black Thunder, White Lightning, anyone?
All right.
Triple H and Steph see Roman backstage, and they say, "You know what? Well, you're not done for the night. No, you're not done for. You're not going to be in the ladder match. You're facing Mark Henry." Because anytime you need someone to get their ass kicked or get their wig split, you hit up Mark Henry.
As Triple H would go on to demonstrate
That was
with
awesome.
a few bars of Mark Henry's classic theme song.
It's just the little things that can make an audience
Somebody go and get the
happy.
wig split.
It shows that they're having fun, and I think that it allows us to have more fun too. With it.
Absolutely.
Like,
Agreed.
It's like when Triple H busted out that Teddy Long impression
There you go.
to bring it all full circle, just like we were talking about earlier.
We're gonna have
The big show
the big show and a tag team match
and the Undertaker.
and the Undertaker.
I love Teddy.
I love him too.
Come on.
I'm telling you, he's amazing.
I miss the days of him managing Jim Powers on WCW Saturday
Way
Night.
back in the didn't he manage the Twin Towers?
I'm sure.
He did. He managed.
Back when everyone called him Peanut Head.
He managed the Undertaker in a tag team. I think they were called the Twin Towers way back in
Him and
WCW.
Dan Spivey.
Hell yeah, man! Shout out to Teddy Long. We miss you.
Shout out to Dan Spivey. Waylon Mercy, guys.
And Dan Spivey. Byron Saxon backstage with Nikki Bella, and Nikki says, I'm the longest reigning current champion. It's an honor. I'll take on anyone and everything. That's when Paige gets in her grill and says, "You ready to take on anyone? Well, how about you take me on?" Nikki says, "Yes. Let's have that match tonight." What a fighting champion.
okay, so I don't know if I missed this. How did Naomi get out of the picture?
That was
She lost a match.
I was wondering too.
She lost a match, and that's enough.
She's got to go home.
Yep. Get to the back of the line.
Yeah, that is weird. She didn't hurt herself, did she?
I don't think so. No.
God, I hope not.
She's just out of the title picture.
But she's the most deserving.
Oh, I
and
agree.
Paige too. So
I agree.
I will say this.
Then that's me.
I think the only reason Naomi did not win last night is because they realized how close Nikki is to breaking AJ Lee's record, and I think they are determined to have her break AJ Lee's record for obvious non-wrestling reasons.
It's very possible.
in my
Very
opinion.
possible.
Otherwise, why? I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't put the title on Naomi. She
I definitely
is by
had her
far.
pegged to win the triple threat.
Me too.
How
last
close
night.
is how close is she to beating the record?
I think she's around 200 days. I don't know how long.
check.
I think she's
did,
got a little
If
bit
anyone
to
knows
go.
in chat roll, if you are watching live, please let us know.
did AJ go a full year? I don't think she did.
Might have been just under here.
Then Nikki still has a long way to go.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know that they would keep it on her that
But
long.
last night they kept mentioning during the pay-per-view, Nikki Bella is coming close to having the longest reign Divas champion. And I'm like,
You
that's...
might see that belt on her for quite a bit.
That's what I'm saying. Which Naomi, or Paige, really. I like the three of them, and they're the only thing that's really happening in the Divas division right now. Name one of the... Well, obviously, Brie got involved, but name one other diva on the main roster right now that is involved in anything
Right.
besides Natty.
This is sort of the main roster women's division. These three women.
Who the hell else?
Yeah, when
is-
are they going to bring up some of the NXT?
I don't know, because they're killing it.
Yeah,
Or
they are.
even just give some work to the people that are already on the main roster. I mean,
True.
as much as I am an advocate for bringing up the women of NXT, they've got a whole litany of people on the main roster that they're doing absolutely nothing with.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Teddy Long managed the Skyscrapers. My bad. Twin
That's
Towers
what
were
it was.
Akeem and the Boss Man. Thanks,
That's
Brad.
what it was.
Anyways, so AJ went 296 days, and Nikki is at 189. That's a long...
Still got a while to go.
Time away.
We may not see her break it.
Many months.
Weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's happening. Anyways. So yeah, they're going to have that match tonight. The new Intercontinental Champion, the Ryback, then hits the ring. And he says, "Nobody likes an over-emotional big guy, but I'm the new IC Champion, and all I have to say is feed me more." Congrats to Ryback, man.
I like him with the belt.
It was unexpected for sure.
That was really unexpected.
When it came down to him and Sheamus, for kudos to them, they destroyed each other. But I was like, oh, Sheamus for sure.
Right, exactly. But they did some good stuff, and it's like I said, an unexpected finish really kind of shakes things up.
I think that they've taken Ryback from such an interesting position because they tried to push him so quickly, and that has sometimes hurt some people to the point where they can't bring them back. But I feel like they're building him to a point now where the fans are starting to accept them. I am, definitely. I'm on his side.
I think it gets to the point where, with the cynical fans, they don't want to like someone for the longest time. But even with Roman Reigns, they're starting to come around because performance outweighs any kind of character issues they think you have, or if you're fed by the machine. Ryback and Roman Reigns are just two dudes that are just going out there every night and busting their ass.
But I think those are two examples of them being booked in smarter ways now.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, I don't think, a change in their performance. It's how they're being used. Roman Reigns is being used in a situation where he's overcoming the odds, but in a more believable way. It's not just him doing the Neo, throwing the whole pile of people off all at once.
Yes.
And how your book dictates everything.
Absolutely.
Damien Sandow is the prime example of that.
Yep. That's a very, very good point.
We could get there.
We're getting there. We are getting there. So at that moment, The Miz comes on down to the ring to take on Ryback for the IC title. But then the Big Show, who we haven't seen, I'm trying to think the last time we saw him. Was it the Last Man Standing with Roman?
I think so. I think it might have been.
Well, he doesn't say much, except he gives a WMD to Miz. Just knocks him out of that hoodie, jacket, dress, snuggie.
Yeah.
Nobody in Hollywood dresses like that.
No.
Yet.
Yeah, yes. What I like is he already had a weird jacket, and now he's revamped it.
It's even weirder.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's pretty cute, is what it is.
He's a fashion maven.
He's a fashion maven.
Shout out to Maven, by the way.
Not to be confused with that Maven.
Man, I miss
Someone who
Maven.
doesn't know much about fashion.
Ooh.
What's
Ouch.
No, I'm saying
Wow.
you're spending a lot of time on it.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to be evolved as a person, Kathy. Trying to grow as a
Can
human
we not
being.
fight tonight, guys?
So mean.
I think
Shane is like,
Mom, Dad, please don't
missed
fight.
him.
when people fight, Shane gets really emotional. We don't
I
want
don't
that.
like
You know,
it.
he got really into fashion in Rio.
Yeah. Did you not see my picture of me on the beach?
Is that where your spring residency was?
My short shorts? Yes.
Yeah.
Selfie stick and all. I had it. Anyways.
He doesn't know Snapchat, but he knows a selfie stick.
Or how to
It's getting
update
there.
Twitter. So he knocks Miz out, and then he says to the big guy, he's like, you're going to have to face the real big guy for that IC title, and then he leaves. So obviously we have Ryback versus Show, not tonight, but coming up
Pay-per-view,
soon.
man.
Sometime.
Yeah.
Quite possibly Money in the Bank.
You would think.
Why before, when somebody would have told me this match, I would have not been into it? Now I'm kind of into it. I'm kind of okay with seeing them just kind of beat each other up.
We'll see.
Oh, they will. That's for speaking of two guys beating each other up, we have to talk about this quite a bit. Wow. Kevin Owens and John Cena. Could we say this is a candidate for in-ring combination promo of the year, if there is such a thing?
Verbal abuse, but incredible.
Yes.
Like when
It's
Kevin
verbal
Owens.
chess.
Well, it was crazy because when Kevin Owens came out, you were so behind every single thing that he said that it didn't make sense that Cena was the face in this situation, almost.
Right. But I think that's a testament to how good both of these men are at playing their characters and at controlling a crowd on the mic. We saw it on NXT a few weeks ago. The crowd was 100% behind Kevin Owens.
Yep.
And all he had to say was one thing about Sami Zayn, and he instantly turned them around.
Honestly, I think that Kevin Owens coming to the main roster has made John Cena step up his game.
Definitely. And
In a great way.
We were already seeing great stuff from
the
Cena over
US
the course
title.
of the U.S. Open Challenge.
Yeah, for sure.
And now I think this is the best logical place for it to go.
It felt real, and especially John Cena's half, just heartfelt. You could tell he was almost in tears.
Right, and that's the thing, that this was so real. Both men have such real motivations and such real goals and such relatable goals. They're two characters. It's kind of like the Batman and Joker. They're two halves of the same coin. They're diametrically opposed, and I think that's what's really making this program.
Yeah, and what's amazing is the way Owens, when he spoke, you can tell that that's what he wanted to. You could tell, I feel like he was speaking for every indie wrestler over the last decade that didn't get a shot with WWE, or something weird happened, or they had a problem with Build 'Em Up. All those things, I feel like he was speaking for every one of those guys, not necessarily against Cena, just against the machine. And you really felt it.
What he said with the whole, I've been working just as hard as you for 15 years now, and since you were with WWE, it means more to a kid, or more to you get more fans out of it, but that doesn't take away anything from what I did.
You know what's interesting too is when Cena came out, I knew I was sold on Kevin Owens, but I almost felt like I knew what Cena was going to say. I'm like, I know what he's going to say. But he said exactly what I thought he was going to say, but he made me believe it. And
I didn't like everything he said. What he said, Kevin Owens wasn't a man. Like, but continue. I know
No. But I felt like for the things that mainly what's popping in my head right now is when he was saying the things about like my quotes. They're not just, they weren't things that were just given to me. They're things that I actually believe. And like the way he was delivering it and the motion behind it and just connecting with the audience members tonight, like. I believed Cena, like it was real, and it's so rare in wrestling that we get those moments that we feel that emotionally connected.
I'll tell you what, that kid in the crowd with the "I'm beating cancer" sign, man,
and how Cena
kudos, man,
spoke to the kid, then came back to the kid. Like,
imagine that moment he had. I imagine Cena probably has already met with him. Oh yeah, because that's how amazing he is at meeting fans.
But that can't be planned either, and that just shows
it's incredible.
That's talent, and if anyone is complaining about this segment, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not leave this segment tonight, like, rooting for both guys? Like, they were...
Well, there's people in chat room already just... There are certain people that are just writing... They've already written Cena off. It doesn't matter what he says.
Sure.
The man thing I disagree with. I think that it was good for him to say that because that's just building the storyline of Kevin Owens being a coward and being the cowardly heel, running out of the ring later, like, right after that happened.
Right, and I think Cena needed more of a reason to oppose Kevin Owens now that Kevin Owens showed him that he can beat him clean in the middle of the ring one-on-one.
Yeah.
And I think after Kevin Owens' promo, I think Cena really had an uphill battle in front of him. Kevin Owens said the things that a lot of people wanted to say as far as being a product of the marketing machine and being just a collection of shirts and slogans.
Right.
And Cena, it's like you said before, made us believe that these weren't just slogans, that these were philosophies that he had developed over the last decade.
And that's what Cena needs to do more of, is make us believe that these wristbands and these T-shirts are not just to, like, make money. It's not. Yeah. This is what he actually believes in.
And he's proven that. I mean, he has more Make-A-Wishes than any person on the face of the planet.
He did I forget which talk show he was on this past week, but he was talking about the Make-A-Wishes and his reasoning behind him not wanting kids. And he's like, the reason why I don't is because I want to be a father and I want to be involved in my kid's life. And right now where I'm at, like, I want to also change other people's lives and I can't do both.
Right.
Which I thought was really respectable.
For sure. Definitely.
Yeah, and just when Owens was talking about, he brought up his son, about how, you know, his son was worried about John Cena, and then when he screamed out, "I beat Super Cena," at that point I was like, when Cena's music hits, I'm like, there's no way Cena can top. He can't follow this.
You know what I love too? I don't know if you guys noticed this, but anytime Cena mentioned Kevin Owens' son, it didn't even matter what he was saying. You could just see Kevin Owens just fuming, and I was like, yes!
It's vested in truth. And then we talked about this last week on the show, but if you've seen the Instagram, like, Kevin Owens' wife posted the video of KevinOwens' son watching John Cena and Kevin Owens fight for the first time. So that's all real. Like, Kevin Owens' son is, like, in John Cena gear, and he's like,
man.
what?
It's legit. He's real.
Dad's watching, or Dad's fighting
I'm
Cena.
sold.
It's so
I'm
good.
sold.
Absolutely.
You got to look at the video. He's a real Cena fan.
Yeah.
Like, this is.
And I love that
Sami
they're going to
Zayn
fight
too.
again. I love they're going to fight again.
And it's like I said before, it's even more impressive given the fact that Kevin Owens' first language wasn't even English. That's one of the most impressive things.
I didn't know that till tonight.
It's shocking to me.
That's
He
interesting.
learned English by listening to Jim Ross and watching wrestling.
I think the only
Training with the Mountie.
The only thing that doesn't make sense to me in all of this is that if Kevin Owens did want to make more money for his family, he would be on the main roster and he would want the U.S. title, because you would think that title, you would get more money from being the champion, the U.S. champion, versus being the NXT champion.
Is that something they make public, though, that type of, like...
No, but as a fan, I think that you just kind of think that.
It's headcanon and it's speculation, but it's like we talked about before. Being the top dog in NXT might be comparable or even better than being the mid-card of the main roster.
I just, like, as a fan, you would think, like, oh, the top guy in the AAA ball team makes less than the middle guy or the smallest guy on Major League Baseball.
But that's the story that they're telling, is that he doesn't want or need that title. He's already on the main roster, and he's proven himself by beating John Cena, so he has nothing else to prove by winning the U.S. title.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that it's true that he's going to make the main roster now?
100%.
Yeah.
It's like I said before, even before he beat Cena, you don't have a one-on-one match with John Cena on a pay-per-view and then go back down to just doing NXT exclusively.
I didn't think that they would do that, though. I thought that they were going to bring him back down. Like, that was just temporary.
Me too,
and then
yeah.
because of the injuries that have happened on the main roster, they're bringing him up fully.
100%.
Oh, I know that they do. I think that that's why they signed him in the first place.
But it's like I said, I don't think they would have put him one-on-one against Cena if they didn't plan on making him a full-time main roster addition.
Well, no, of course, Kevin Owens, that was the plan all along. But he's the NXT champion. How soon is he? How long is he going to be on the main roster supposedly with that title? That's kind of a.
Well, isn't he feuding with Samoa Joe?
Well,
yeah, he has so many people down at NXT. He has to go through Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Sami Zayn again, Hideo Itami. He has a list of people that he still has to take on.
But that's the thing.
Hideo's out for how many months?
6.
Hideo's out for a little while,
damn,
but just because he has beef with them doesn't mean he has to take them on before he moves up.
I mean, he could hold the belt on the main roster for quite some time.
It's a good
There
point.
is such a thing as unfinished business.
I still think
yeah.
that it's kind of like how they had the split brands before with Raw and SmackDown, and you only had your stars on the respective shows, and then occasionally they would cross over.
Yeah.
I thought originally it was going to be like that with
Super
NXT
separate,
and
yeah.
main roster, and occasionally they cross over because we often see main roster guys going down to Orlando to fight there. But now
But it's like we've seen before. We've seen a lot of overlap with the champions in terms of having the NXT title and then becoming a full-time main roster player. We saw it with Seth Rollins. We saw it with Big E. It's not unheard of for there to be a little bit of overlap just because there's only so much that they reference of each other's continuity.
Yeah, and plus there's only one taping a month really for NXT besides TakeOver. So
Right.
Owens essentially could be on the road full time with them if they wanted. Do you think this is leading, and this is really conjecture, this has probably never happened, do you think this is leading towards NXT going to national television? Maybe replacing...
I don't think so.
Okay.
I was going to say this doesn't talk about your point, or I don't know.
Go for it.
But they've been promoting several more live shows for NXT across the country,
Right.
and Kevin Owens hasn't been promoted on their October one.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
So-
they're coming to the West Coast as part of the Aftershock Music Festival up in Sacramento.
What do you think about this? He's got his open challenge on SmackDown. You don't think someone's going to shock the world, do you?
Not on SmackDown.
I don't think so. I think especially with how much I think they've already taped in this set of tapings on an NXT, they've got a few more weeks to go.
Okay.
They'll do it for a couple weeks, and then I could see that. Yeah, I could see that happening.
But I don't think they would do that to the NXT fans to have him drop that title on a main roster show.
Jesus.
Come on.
Water
Man.
everywhere.
Dad, this is why we don't have nice things.
This is on the... Damn it! I'm so sorry.
glad I could be here for this.
Let me get some paper towels.
So, I forgot what I was going to say.
Kathy, I'm sorry. I got your computer. God, I am such a fun dad.
At least it was water.
No,
Can we give
it
a
was-
slow clap?
It's vodka.
Vodka. What were we saying about Kevin Owens? I'm more into this debate than I am my computer getting wet.
We were just talking about, being fair to the NXT fans and having him drop at an NXT event.
So there are several guys. See, this is still going.
Keep going. I got it.
There are several guys though that had that crossover. Like Bo, when he originally debuted on the main roster, he was still going down to NXT to do tapings because
Yes.
wasn't he? I mean, he wasn't the champion, but he was involved in the title feud.
And when Seth Rollins had the NXT title, he was still babyface champion down there, wearing the weird Egyptian trunks and kick pads, and he was part of the Shield on the main roster.
Right. Huh.
So there is, like I said, there is some
Did
sort
I
of
get-
crossover
I'll do that.
That's fine.
because they're only just now starting to really reference more of the
Can I have
continuity.
some more?
That laptop had a family. Shoot.
God.
I just got this like 2 weeks
Sorry,
ago. so-
I'm a little jet lagged.
If this was a WWE show, there'd be sparks flying. It'd
It'd be like, what was it?
hitting the deck.
When Ambrose got knocked out with the television set
Yeah, just
against Wyatt.
yanking on it with the cord
This
still
is-
in
You
it.
got shoot
This
twice,
is
cancel.
karma for all the slaps.
Oh boy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
Moving on, we've got a lot to cover.
Yeah. No, but that was worth talking about for a while
It was, it
because
absolutely was.
really, and then the way Cena closed it out by saying the 3 words that define Kevin Owens aren't fight Owens fight. It's never give up, which really is a fair point. He's been busting his ass for 15 years on the indies.
Right. And it was such a great way to bring that all the way around full circle.
I love all of the NXT inclusion in last night's show, and I just have to say that these paper towels are SAWFT. Soft.
You're the worst person. The worst person.
Quicker picker up. Speaking of which, as much as I love Enzo and Cass, they're like my favorite tag team. I just saw they have another T-shirt on WWE Shop. How do the Primetime Players not have that T-shirt available yet? I'm getting upset. No! It's an awesome shirt. It goes back to Primetime Wrestling. It looks dope. What do we got to do? I'm willing to give you money for the T-shirt.
Get the position going, guys.
Put it on!
Dad, calm down.
Sorry.
Don't knock over your cup again.
It doesn't matter. There's nothing. It's all gone.
Are you parched? Do you need water? Oh, no, I'm not going to
Don't put water near him.
Don't just
not put water near him.
Now, Shane, next we have the New Day. I know you're a big New Day fan.
Yeah.
Making fun of Tim Duncan, saying he's old, he should retire, and Kofi's in the Money in the Bank, and then they all become Mr. Money in the Bank if he wins.
Talk about, like, you mentioned, like, you like watching people that are having fun. Like, these guys are having so much fun on television right now, and you can see it, and that's why it's translating. Like, the fans they're getting a reaction, and that's something that it took them a while to do, but they're in a position where they're just like, I think the WWE's probably allowing them to just be goofy
as they should be.
Mm-hmm. The Big E's out there stirring it up. Mm-hmm. I mean, really.
Stirring it up.
That's right.
I forgot you weren't here when we went over the debut of that new gesture.
No, I was not here for that. Mm-hmm. I was. I think I may have seen it.
Very reminiscent of the Chef.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Our old friend, the Chef.
Yes.
Oh, man, that guy.
Stir it up, baby.
So, stir it up, baby. So, Dolph Ziggler comes out to the ring. Lana just chilling on the ramp as we get Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston. This only lasts a few minutes. Ziggler wins with a reverse roll-up. New Day attacks. PTP makes the save. Speaking of the T-shirt we all want to have. Becomes a six-man tag. New Day versus Ziggler and PTP. Yo, Titus O'Neil, Ty Matthews.
Whew. Titus reinventing the hot tag in the six-man tag. Like, I have been a Titus fan ever since he made it a win back in NXT. Been a huge Titus fan, but I felt like he didn't really have what he needed to have to get to that next level. And I think that is exactly what we saw tonight with that hot tag, just chucking people left and right.
The throwing people, like, I mean, we know that he's a strong dude, but that was just crazy.
I mean, he's been doing that throw for a while, but we've never seen him do it with such conviction as we did tonight.
I love it. PTP, I'm looking forward to seeing them feud with New Day for sure.
Definitely.
That's going to be so entertaining.
Right. And Titus busting out an OG pump handle power slam for a finish. We haven't seen that in a hot minute.
We have not. I love Xavier's reaction to it. He was like, no, don't do it. And bam. Oh, so well done.
Two things.
Go ahead, Shane.
I want to get a little personal and ask you a question.
Yes,
why
sir?
we were watching the show before this, of course. Why do you have such hatred against Dolph Ziggler's haircut? Like,
you really don't like it.
It was just tonight. It was really just tonight. It
brought
was just
a lot of anger in you.
The ratio of
came on the screen. He screamed.
It was just
ombre.
That's a bad ombre, and I mean that in both the Spanish sense and the hair sense.
They say you can't use peroxide when you're pregnant, and I know he eats a lot of Chipotle, so maybe it's a food baby.
It's possible.
It could be. You did mention that he was going back to his roots.
Yep.
I almost killed your boy. You and your
You love my puns.
Your puns, man.
We're gonna have a peroxide match.
I wish we could hit
So, and also, Lana, what are they doing with
Speaking
her?
of peroxide,
that is something that I'm a little bit concerned about, because a lot of times when managers turn babyface, they end up having nowhere to go.
I've read rumors that they're going to have her slowly lose her accent, or maybe, like, I don't know, pick up an American accent.
Take diction classes.
Oh boy!
And I could see her losing the Russian character.
You can't just lose a Russian accent.
Dude,
over 2 years.
Kofi lost his
don't raise me a Kofi. Kofi had it for like 2 weeks.
Okay, Okay.
and then lost Jamaican accent.
What? He had that for years.
For a hot while.
But
No, he did
speaking-
not.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, long
wow.
enough for Triple H to mention it in a backstage segment.
He had that accent for years.
Fine.
Real
3
life though, you can lose your accent.
No, I know you can. Kevin Owens is proof of it, but it doesn't happen over a period of a couple weeks.
Well,
Right.
no, it wouldn't happen over the period of a couple weeks. But if it happens over the course of 6 months, that's believable.
Give us
No,
your
it's
original
not.
accent, Johnny. They want to hear your original accent. What was your accent before this one?
So, hey, what's going on? Eh?
And he lost it.
No, it's
it
not
can
my original accent.
happen.
But I think to play the other side, if you're saying that it could happen over the course of 6 months, do they have the patience to draw that out over 6 months?
I don't know,
I don't think
but
people
it's-
would be paying that close of attention.
No.
I think that even over the last couple months, like, yes, it's a great Russian accent, but is it, like, it's kind of like, what's the equivalent of Russian and English? Spanglish? Like, Spanish and English?
they're
Like, that's what
slowly
it
going to
is
transition it because
already.
last night they did a one-on-one interview with her before the pay-per-view.
The social media lounge?
And it was and it was a little less. I felt. I feel like they're just going to slowly ease it off.
I think she's going to be the face of the women.
That's what they're talking. And I don't
Vince
know.
loves her,
I don't know how
so,
much she
yeah.
wants to wrestle, though. That's
No, not as
Right.
that, but I think that
Miss
she could still
Elizabeth
be
type?
a very powerful character. And
Yeah.
I would love to see, and I don't know if this will ever happen, but I would love to see a woman manage another woman.
that too.
Interesting.
She's a good actress.
Yeah, not
I
in
would
the
love-
bodyguard sense.
Yeah, it would be like, this
cool.
is a female empowerment thing. Like, I want to see this woman
I'm
be the
surprised
best
that's
wrestler
never
in
happened.
WWE,
Has
not
that-
just...
Has that ever happened? Like,
I feel like
Not
it's
that I
had to
know
at
of.
some
It's
point.
had to, yeah,
Maybe.
for sure.
I don't
Before
know.
my time.
I'm sure Moolah or Mae Young managed another woman at some point.
yeah.
You know, I like Ron Corleone's idea. He wants Zeb Coulter to teach Lana to lose her accent.
There you
Love
go.
Take
There
the
you go.
most
Book it.
extreme and bring her there.
Book
I
it,
love
guys.
that. Yeah, we the people.
Have her be a little redneck chick.
We're on board.
And then it just goes all the way in the other direction.
I don't know. We'll see where they go with it, but I'm a little concerned because she's a great character, and
Right.
so
I think it's more also concerning now that Rusev is potentially out for we don't know how long.
right.
Right.
So
And also,
Definitely
she's like getting a lot of acting gigs where she's not Russian. So they're going to want to publicize that, and it's going to just get to this point where they're like, well, she's, which is the real person.
It'll probably go that direction.
Matthias Oliveira in chat roll said she's the next Paul Heyman.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's a bold statement.
Those are some
but
big words.
I think that
Wow.
she's very powerful
High
on the
praise.
mic.
High praise. Roman versus Mark Henry next. This is his second match of the evening. Roman, man, hits a Samoan drop on Mark Henry. Superman punch outside the ring. Slides back in just before the 10 count, so Mark Henry loses via DQ. Roman Reigns 2-0.
He did it.
2-0 in the evening.
Right.
But his night is not done yet.
Not quite.
Because after the commercial, Roman Reigns is back. Oh, by the way, Henry attacks afterwards.
And by the way, apparently Fabulous Moolah did manage women in
Boom.
the past. So I was wrong.
Good call, Tina Keys. Oh, yeah, Leilani
before your
Kai,
time.
of course.
And I wasn't crazy about the count out victory, but I did like that they continued that story of Roman's eye giving him problems throughout the match.
And I dug the count out victory because at that point, Roman's doing whatever his babyface, he's fighting from behind. He does whatever he can to get the victory. And against someone like Mark Henry,
Touche.
you got to do what you got to do.
He looked like a White Walker tonight.
Interesting. Interesting. Those eyes do get lighter and lighter
Yeah,
every
it was
week.
like very like
It's a White Walker.
from Game of Thrones.
Oh, gee.
Come on.
Dad doesn't
It's a
say
show on
enough to
HBO,
watch Game of
Dad.
Thrones.
He's like
wouldn't understand.
Jon Snow. He knows nothing, right? Right?
Who's Jon Snow? Guys, I got a lot of wrestling to watch. I don't have time for these. I don't have time for Vikings.
I got a lot of wrestling to watch, a lot of cups to knock over.
Yeah. Knocking over water. Hell yeah. I don't got time for these Vikings fighting over land that they're all gonna die at 35 anyway.
All men must die.
Jeez Louise.
That's a mean quote.
Yeah, well.
That's from Valar Morghulis.
I know, I don't watch Game of Thrones either.
Don't know what that is either. Roman, up top.
Air five.
Shano, Mac. Roman Reigns backstage once again. Triple H, Steph come up making fun of, is it hard to breathe? You better lace that vest up tight because you're going to have to follow the buzzards. Bam.
Why would tightening your vest prepare you for a match?
Oh, because if your rib cage, the rib cage is very sensitive. And
Okay.
if it hurts, it's almost like when you pull a muscle, you have to compress it to keep it from expanding and actually causing pain.
Cool.
There
Thanks.
we go. Physical
Thanks for that.
therapist Johnny.
Fun PT. Next, let's move on to the Sonic Shake Mega Powers commercial.
Yes.
Shane and Ty and Cathy. Thoughts?
Well, who did we have? We had the Mega Powers.
We had the Meta Powers.
Meta Powers.
The Meta Powers at first.
New Day was so good.
Then we had the New Day.
And Big
we had
Show.
Big Show.
Big Show.
Felt a little. I mean, it was all scripted, but I mean, it felt scripted.
Sure.
But the man, I feel bad for the Mega Powers, and I just, because you know that, I mean, these guys, that's not a gimmick that has longevity. I feel like they're
No.
What do you think the game plan for these characters are?
I mean, at the very least, the upside is screen time. Like no matter what, no exposure is bad exposure. That's probably not true, but I think they're doing what they've got to. I think it's the sort of thing that the WWE universe really latches onto.
Okay.
Given how much everyone loves a nostalgia act. Hopefully it doesn't last too long.
This is one that
It's already, I feel, getting...
It's already... I'm interested. I mean, I'm sure Hulk Hogan doesn't care.
Right.
I'm assuming the Savage family or the Poffo family doesn't care. But yeah...
Now, do you see them when this is done hopping onto another?
God, no.
I mean, it was already... I feel like it was already sort of a step backwards for Sandow to go from Mizdow to Sandow for, a couple weeks and then right into another impression.
These two characters tell me that this was planned on the fly. Because if you recall, Sandow came out on that one Monday Night Raw and said, you know what, guys? This is me. I'm Damien Sandow.
Right.
And then that's when Axel came out. They had their little thing. So for me, it's like, why would you come out and say, yep, I'm Damien Sandow, and then the next week you're all of a sudden, you're Macho Man Dow. So, I think it was just one of those things that was planned. Maybe Sandow's good at it backstage, and they think it's kind of like when Cena was rapping to Stephanie McMahon. That's how he got the rapper gimmick.
Right.
Just Sandow's much better than this.
Right. And I mean, yeah, to be fair, like the Cena thing didn't turn into him impersonating Vanilla Ice. It was just one character trait that, was extrapolated.
Yeah.
And so I think this, I mean, yeah, it's funny for a couple weeks, but I think we need more of that promo. I mean, it was a solid promo. We need more of it. We need to see the real Damien Sandow for a longer extended period of time.
But can we agree we all want a Sonic Shake?
After that, absolutely.
Sure.
Yes.
But
all
I think
25 flavors.
This segment, my thoughts were a little bit all over the board. It was kind of one of those things where it started off kind of funny, and then it was sort of not, and
We
then
had a giggle
and then
off.
it got really funny.
I want to know whose giggle is cuter.
Well, you know what? I'll take you.
I couldn't tell who was who. It was pretty honest.
Do what?
He has a very high-pitched giggle.
I don't know what you're talking about. But I did like.
No, he's trying not to laugh.
I liked that subtle kind of like just Mando and Axel just like making noises and just like avoiding the handshake by just. I
love the avoiding of the handshake. Just loving it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Someone actually had a really good comment here saying WWE should sign Chuck Taylor for comedy skits. Totally agreed. He's one of the funniest dudes I've ever seen.
They should sign Chuck Taylor for anything.
He's a great wrestler, but he's one of the funniest performers. He gets it.
Absolutely. Alex Riley already stole the grenade years ago.
What happened?
When he turned it into the A-bomb.
Yeah.
That made me sad. Sad face.
What are you going to do? But Chuck Taylor's...
Sign the Kentucky Gentleman.
So damn funny.
Yeah.
All right, Nikki Bella versus Paige. Nikki in control, actually. And in my opinion, this is the best ring psychology that I've seen Nikki use. A little surprise at the end. Paige had the two quick kicks to the face, which is really cool. Does the rampage off the ropes. Nikki slips out of the ring, and Brie comes from underneath the ring and rolls up Paige for the win. Twin Magic back at it. What the heck is going on?
Well, I think this was one of the most solid wrestling matches we've seen Nikki Bella in. We see her busting out fireman's carries, snap suplexes, a Tully Blanchard-style slingshot suplex, but I'm not sure I'm necessarily on board with this sort of heel-leaning tendencies apropos of nothing.
Yeah.
Not sure I'm on board with that. I don't think we're seeing enough motivation there.
Agreed. Shane?
I would have to agree 100%. Yeah, they're not really heels, and that was a definite heel thing to do. So it was like I just felt like I don't know how to feel about this. I love the twin thing. I've always loved that, seeing like twins use their looking like each other to their advantage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt a little like I don't know if I'm supposed to.
Unless they're turning
how
him
I'm supposed
again.
to feel.
That was a month ago that they turned him face, so it doesn't really.
And that was apropos of nothing as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's killing me.
I guess maybe they just don't want Nikki to win clean over Paige.
Well, I think it's the sense of like Paige is a clear-cut face right now, and they want to keep it that way. I think, and it may or may not have something to do with Santa's Little Helper. Who knows?
I definitely think though that the Bellas are better as heels. So I'm fine with the change. I wish that they hadn't been face in the first place.
I'm fine with them being heels. I'm not fine with this being how they turn heel. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I think, and like I said, I think, we're seeing solid matches, but it's like Nikki Bella busting out jumping jacks and sit-ups and
what is that
push-ups.
about, man?
Kind of out of nowhere.
Honestly, in the last year, have they really done anything with the Bellas storyline-wise that have made sense since, like, Brie got back together with Nikki for no reason? Like, right. I mean, that was probably only 6 months ago, but it just seems like they're doing things to do things very quickly as opposed to drawing them out even 2-3 weeks or explaining them in a online segment or something.
And that's the thing. It's like we saw with Naomi. All it takes is one promo to establish some motivation that's grounded in reality.
Good promo, yes.
Very good.
So,
and I think they've got that in them. I just don't think they're being given the chance to do that.
Well, you could see a backstage segment, like the camera just catches the Bella Twins backstage and they're like, well, I can't lose this. Like, I don't want to lose this. I want to be the longest reigning women's Divas champion. Right. And she's like, you're going to have to help me. And then that establishes something at least.
Exactly. Absolutely. I fully agree, for sure.
Yeah, Twin Magic and hair extensions pulling off the victory tonight. Sheamus taking on Randy Orton. Wow, this was physical. And I'll tell you what, last night, Sheamus and Ryback tore it up when they were the final two in the Elimination Chamber, and he was back at it again tonight. Wow, Orton, that backdrop onto the announcer's table, they just beat the tar out of each other. Orton sends Sheamus over the barricade, then Sheamus hits him with a chair for the obvious DQ, and then 2 brogue kicks, destroys Orton. So I assume we have ourselves a little Sheamus-Orton reboot.
Right, and I think that's partly because we need some story to kind of anchor at least parts of the Money in the Bank ladder match going forward. They're really, especially with Rusev out of the picture, we don't really have any other clear-cut stories going into that ladder match as of right now. We've got Kofi and Neville there basically just for the kind of OMG moments. We've got Ziggler in there because he's always the bridesmaid. We've got Reigns in there, he's the big dog, all that stuff.
But they mentioned last night, though, they're like, these aren't the only 6 that are going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. How many are there going to be? 8?
Who said that?
The announcers. They said these are not the only 6 that will be in the Money.
They didn't really mention anything like that this evening.
Yeah,
I feel like they would have touched on that.
And I feel like they would have those fun little silhouettes with the question marks.
That's why I was so confused.
You might be
unless that was a
things,
decision. Unless that was a decision that was nixed between last night and this evening.
Because I think any more than 6 people, you're really, really pushing the limits of the ladder match.
Well, is there anyone in that ladder match that would excite you about? Usually, there's at least 1 or 2 people where I'm like, yeah,
Kofi.
I was just gonna say, like,
winning the briefcase.
Man,
nobody other than Neville. Not to me.
Yeah,
because Ziggler's already won it.
And one of the best and most emotional cash-ins that we've seen.
Heck yeah.
When he cashed in on Alberto Del Rio. But honestly, yeah,
really wet.
Way to go, Johnny.
Could you ever see Kofi taking it?
I mean, it really depends on the story. One of the things that I've always said is that, truly, it's a company line, but anything is possible as long as the right story is told. Things have happened that nobody thought would ever happen.
If Kofi finally wins the briefcase, that means they're going to put a lot of stock in the New Day.
Right. And you never know.
They've got the tag belts and then the briefcase.
Right.
Visually, it would look good.
It would look great, and I would be 100% on board with it. I don't necessarily see it happening. I really think the only surprise that would at the same time be believable is Neville.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Right, and absolutely.
Yeah,
and that would really further this whole, the NXT main roster takeover.
Yeah.
Between Bo Dallas finally getting an intense character and a story that he can carry, all the way to Kevin Owens bringing the title on, feuding with John Cena.
You don't think there's a shot of Ziggler getting another briefcase and getting redemption and getting back in the Raw title
definitely,
picture?
I'm talking about who would be the most surprising, yet still grounded in reality. The other, 4 are arguably much more believable. If we're talking about realistic, I see either Reigns or Sheamus taking it.
Well, chat roll seems to think that Roman Reigns is the obvious winner.
That's what I think I'm going to go with.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that might be reason enough for him not to win.
Yeah, especially, if he wins something again, do they risk that huge backlash like at the Royal Rumble?
Right, exactly.
We don't want that again.
Are we at that level, or do you think we're still at that point where that could happen?
I think
just
after
saying.
tonight, he garnered a lot more respect.
He did, but you don't
I don't
want
know
to...
about a lot more. I think he's chipping away at it little by little.
And giving him the briefcase gives him even more time to get the fans on his side.
Right. And then at that point, they've got ways out. If over the course of time he's starting to get more positive reactions, they can have him cash in and be successful.
Right.
If he's not, they can have him cash in and be not successful.
Yeah. I don't know. He's done a lot over the last 4 months plus to win over the fans, and I don't want just him winning a Money in the Bank ladder match to just set himself back, not due to his fault, just due to fans being cynical.
I mean, I think that that's something that not all fans understand. I mean, we understand it, but we don't fully comprehend to come back from injury and then to get in the ring again and still want that, I think speaks so much of,
It does, but that doesn't necessarily make a good story.
No.
At least not the way that it's told.
Could we be seeing a SummerSlam main event with Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins for the WWE title, and then
getting emotional.
and Roman Reigns runs in with the briefcase, like the WrestleMania finish?
That's very possible. And that's absolutely, those kind of bookends are really, really, that's WWE.
How bad is Rusev's foot? Does he take someone out and join Money in the Bank? Probably not. Just an option. He'd be a great Money in the Bank winner. Can you imagine him cashing in?
Yeah.
Woo!
That would be, and that would be great. And who knows, maybe that was one of the original plans.
Yeah. Either way, it's going to be fun. I mean, it's going to be hard to top Elimination Chamber. That pay-per-view start to finish was really, really great. But
I miss Cody Rhodes and Sandow's little thing when one of them had the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Oh yeah,
that?
they did great stuff together.
Yeah.
threw it in the water. It was
good
great
stuff.
Great feud. Byron Saxton backstage with Rusev. Speaking of which, he was a very downtrodden Rusev. He says, "I have nothing. I have no championship. I have no career. I can't do it. I have no woman.
Though.
I'm a broken man.
Yeah.
He's crashed.
I'm the one who's crashed. But I will get back all of it.
I'll get it all back.
All back, including my woman." He didn't say that. Maybe he meant it.
Partially.
I like sad Rusev. Just keep
Sad
him sad.
Rusev's kind of awesome.
I mean, really, at this point,
That's a great hashtag.
We've seen so many hashtag sad Rusev guys. We've seen so many facets of Rusev's personality, and I think he's still turning in some of the most compelling segments.
Agreed.
He's great on the mic.
I mean, just
Very believable.
Stoic, straight-faced, beaten down, depressed Rusev was something I can get on board with.
He can get even angrier. Love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was really. It was definitely not the Rusev I would expect to see tonight, especially with that tweet about saying, "Stupid American doctors don't let me compete. I would just put duct tape." And not duct tape, but Doug tape.
Jose Torres said emo Rusev.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
See, he's a therapist.
I love it. Bo Dallas, he comes down to the ring, and I know, Ty, you loved this Bo Dallas. He said, "I tried to help you, Neville. Now I just want to hurt you." Of course, Neville hits the red arrow for the win, but Bo Dallas really was in control for most of it. Very aggressive.
Right.
He looked like a big baby in his diaper trunks.
Big old baby.
This is exactly what Bo Dallas needed. He's been on the main roster for longer than a lot of people realize. He was out with an injury, and now he needs to be reinvented. He needs this intensity. When he said, "Now I just want to hurt you," and dropped the mic, I was 100% on board.
Yeah.
And this is exactly, it's like I said last week, this is the direction we need to go in to sort of recapture that magic of the feud they had in NXT.
Well, I think Bo has to be borderline bipolar in a way, his character.
Right, exactly.
And this is the first kind of glimpse I think we've seen of it.
I mean, it can be, he could even go into real life where he's like, "I'm a rotunda, like, I deserve this. I am born and bred for this. And the fact that you just come in here and get to do this and get all these fans behind you, I don't understand it. Like, I want to take you out to prove that I'm worthy. Like, I know that I'm worthy of being here because I've been told that my entire life." But
Well, there's rumors that he will be a fourth Wyatt family member if they bring the group back together.
What?
And then, so this direction, like this spastic person could be perfect.
I just like him being the entitled, like, kid. Like, that's what he's been, the bratty kid,
Angry
essentially,
baby.
at
Right.
NXT for
Yeah,
so long,
when
and that's
he
what he is
first-
now. Like,
Exactly.
it's that delusional, bratty kid that throws temper tantrums.
I mean, bringing back the Wyatt family would make sense because we're getting to our main event now. What is going on with Bray Wyatt? What are they essentially tonight? I mean, yeah, he was a great challenge to Roman Reigns. It was very, very physical, but eventually Roman shoves Wyatt into Kane, spear for the victory. What's a cult leader without his cult? Like, I don't know. He's still the same character with no cult. It doesn't make any sense. If you would have told me 6 months ago that Bray Wyatt would be just kind of like there, I'd be like, no way. Yeah, I know. Right.
And that's what's so disheartening and so heartbreaking about it, is that his skills are all still there, but it's without a destination. Yeah. And
do you think it might be because he's not getting a very loud reaction, but it's because I think people listen to him when he speaks. That's a good point. The backstage, or maybe the people, the higher ups, are like, oh well, he's not making any noise when he goes out there. Mm-hmm. But it's because everyone listens to everything he says.
They're trying to turn the light off their cell phone. Actually,
yeah, that's a big part of it too. They want to be a part of that intro.
I mean, yeah, the Fireflies are still a very real thing. But I really thought that Bray Wyatt was going to take the win in this one. Mm-hmm. I thought that the story was going to be Roman Reigns fighting and fighting and fighting. He wins once, wins twice. That would be
so cool.
But at the very end, can't pull it off against Bray.
I have to say, that feeling of being in an arena with all of the light, like everyone's cell phone lights on, like that is so freaking cool. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he's one of those guys that like it works so well when you're at a live event, and right now it's just not translating to TV.
It doesn't.
Right. No. And I think it might be because the silence is such an inherent part of that feeling, and that doesn't necessarily translate to the screen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah. But we do see some hard hitting.
It's odd, too, because he defeats Ryback, and look who's gone up since. It's been Ryback.
Right.
And now Bray Wyatt.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, to close out the show, the Authority surrounds Roman Reigns. Dean Ambrose's music hits. Seth looks up towards the ramp. Look out, Dean Ambrose is behind the announcer's table. I love this. Is classic. This is great play by Ambrose here. He gets in the ring, spear to Mercury. They throw J&J Security to the wayside, but he tosses the belt into Rollins' hands, kicks him in the tummy. Dirty deeds.
I like that you said tummy.
Damn right. Fun dad.
In the tummy.
Kicked him right in the tummy.
Fun dad, just killing it. Mm-hmm. I loved it.
But it's great stuff. It's Definitely. A great way to further that push of Dean Ambrose into a legitimate main event star.
Mm-hmm. And we all know he is.
Of course. It's something that they should have done the first time around. Yes. And now they're getting it right.
Well, don't forget that one pay-per-view when Rollins and Ambrose headlined.
At Hell in a Cell.
It was amazing.
Mm-hmm. It was good stuff. But then that was parlayed into Ambrose versus Wyatt, which didn't really go many places.
But we knew they would revisit this.
Right.
And thank God they did, because this Raw, I thought, was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. It was good stuff. It was very good. Very good. Following up on a great live event, not necessarily a pay-per-view, but a live event.
Well,
live event turned.
We gotta call it. It's 10 tons of steel. Gotta call it a pay-per-view.
Well, no one pays for the views anymore. You pay for the network.
Yeah.
Mega event.
Mm-hmm. And if you'd like to watch, you can.
Mega super duper event. Maybe it's like one of those.
Big old show.
Sunday night. Yeah. Really fun stuff.
Right.
I don't know what else we can say about this Monday Night Raw, but Money in the Bank is setting itself up. And
in
it looks
2
like,
weeks.
Yeah, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins in a ladder match. A lot of ladders floating around here, guys.
Of course, yeah.
So many ladders.
And I think that's good by design. They've got the Money in the Bank ladder match. They can't have more than one anymore.
Nope.
So, of course, the main is going to be a ladder match as well.
It's whoever wants to climb their way to the top.
Exactly.
Of the roster.
Someone AJ in chat roll is saying, that's BS, Johnny. I don't know what he's talking about exactly. Because the fact that I said tummy?
Well, that is BS, Johnny.
Why?
Because it's on a delay.
Come on.
Throw a cup of water over.
I don't know. Let's all put ourselves over. Shane Hartline, go.
Shane Hartline on Twitter, Vine, Instagram, everything. And you can see me Monday night, June 8th, 8 p.m. iOS main stage for the hopefully Chris Pratt and Shane Hartline show. I hope he shows up because I don't know what's going to happen if he doesn't.
Ty Matthews.
Ty Matthews, PMA on Instagram, on Twitter. Watch Championship Wrestling from Hollywood every Saturday night on KDOC and U2 America. And check out my buddy Brandon Stroud over on Uprocks. Some awesome wrestling writing.
Cathy Kelley.
You can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelley, on Instagram at Cathy Kelley, and doing another show on Dash Radio called What the Francia. Check it out.
Boomtown. At Jay Quasto on Twitter. This weekend, La Jolla Comedy Store in San Diego, and the last weekend in June, 25th to 28th, I'm at Denver Comedy Works. So if you're in Denver, let's hang out. It'll be a great time. Denver, yeah. Anyways,
good.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We love you guys. So take care. We'll see you next week. Also, Wrestling and Padres. Make sure you listen. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.